It's time to react to Andy Cooks, who is making chicken parmigiana. I love Andy, he's a great chef, his recipes are amazing, and I'm really interested to watch his video. He's basically making Australian versus American version of chicken parm. Guys, before you talk about Australian and American chicken parmigiana, you go and watch my chicken parmigiana video. I made it the Italian way, and I used one with buffalo mozzarella on top and the other one with burrata cheese.
The chicken parmesan, the chicken parmy, the parma, whatever you want to call it.
Look at that, that must be the Aussie version, is it?
I think we can all agree it's delicious.
That must be the American version with pasta. I would never serve chicken parmigiana with pasta.
We're going to start with the chicken. Some people get these really big and flat. I prefer them a little bit thicker. I also kind of prefer to take that tail piece off.
That's a good point. Nice and thick, and yeah, because you get a nice juicy meat, but the crust is still crunchy.
And then I just do this in half, this breast, and flip it open and make sure it's nice and flat. I will
That's a pretty big one, yeah.
pound this a little bit. This is like a backpack bag, nice and thick, which makes them work really well for this, and a rubber mallet. Just give it a little pound. All right, we've got our chicken pounded and seasoned. So we've got our standard crumbing station, seasoned flour, beaten egg, breadcrumbs. Now the American version, we just use breadcrumbs, we don't use panko. Use what you want, but...
Yeah, no, we use breadcrumbs. I prefer breadcrumbs to panko. I know panko is great. Look, you're making Asian dishes, go for panko. But I think the breadcrumbs is really something that you need for chicken parm. You know, the panko is nice, but it's not a chicken parmigiana anymore, you know what I mean?
Picks the chicken up, puts it in the flour. The dry hand is what moves the chicken around in the flour. Dust it nicely, shake off the excess into the egg. Wet hand now. So the wet hand now picks the chicken up from the egg, grab a handful of your breadcrumbs with your dry hand, place it down,
Amazing, very good.
crumbs on the top, and that way your dry hand doesn't get wet from the egg. History of the Parmesan in the US began in the 1940s when a
Oh wow, during the war.
lot of Italian immigrants started coming to the country. They adapted their dish, the Melanzane al Parmigiana, which is an
The lasagna parmigiana is called eggplant parmigiana, so it's layers of eggplants with tomato sauce, mozzarella cheese, and pecorino cheese or parmesan cheese.
apologies for the pronunciation, to use chicken because it was far cheaper than they were used to back in Italy. All right, so to go with our
Wow, this is insane. Chicken is cheaper than eggplants. Wow.
Italian dish, kind of not Italian, kind of is, controversial. We're gonna make a real simple marinara sauce. I just do garlic and
Just be careful when we say marinara sauce, because marinara is basically garlic, oregano, and peeled tomatoes, okay? So let's see if you use oregano.
saute pan, good glug of olive oil. Let it come up to temperature a little bit before we put our garlic in there. Now it looks like a lot of garlic for the amount of sauce we're making, but that's why we're gonna saute it down a bit and it gets all nice and sweet.
You love your garlic, Andy.
So while we don't put garlic in a raging hot pan, garlic cooks quick and you don't want it to fry and get all brown and golden on the outside before you've had a chance to really kind of break it down and get it all sweet. And pinch of salt. We're just starting to get a little bit of color on this.
I don't understand why all the chefs put salt in sofrito.
We're gonna add our tomatoes, so crushed tomatoes. You can use whole and break them up. Wow, look at the difference.
It's fine to use crushed tomatoes, just easier, but I prefer to use peeled tomatoes just because I know the quality of the tomato is better, and then I crush it myself.
Just gonna add a couple of big pieces of basil in there.
Yeah, I like how you put basil in there, beautiful. But marinara needs oregano, okay? All right, so it's no marinara anymore.
Fry this in olive oil. Contrary to popular belief, you can fry in olive oil. It's not gonna kill you. Italians have been doing it for centuries.
Well said, Andy.
Olive oil's nice and hot, in goes our chicken. We just wanna cook this slowly. Not slowly, but we don't wanna burn it before it's cooked through.
Well said.
Now they're going, let's get our pasta in. So traditionally what you do with this pasta is you take it and you break it. No, I'm just joking.
So don't mess with me when it comes to words like that.
Oh, Andy, you like to play with fire.
For my Aussie mates, if you're wondering why I'm cooking this with pasta instead of chips like we normally have it with, the earliest record of this dish was 1944 from the Maryland region of Australia, of the United States, where it was always served with pasta and the marinara sauce.
I don't agree with pasta. I think the chips, like the Aussies do, is a lot better.
While those are finishing up in the pan, cheese. We've got some parmesan to go on at the end. Interestingly, we don't really use much parmesan on our parmesan in Australia. It's always just mozzarella.
It's true. I mean, the pub, of course, has to make it cheaper, so Parmigiano is too expensive, but it takes it to the next level.
But in the US,
Now, that's a dry mozzarella, also called scamorza, okay? That scamorza, or dry mozzarella, it's available pretty much everywhere here in Australian supermarkets. And it's good because it doesn't have any milk, So it melts great, melts very well because of there's no milk. Me personally, if I think of my chicken parmigiana with burrata, yes, it's wet, but oh, so beautiful.
There's some of our marinara sauce on the top.
Basil sauce.
Layer on our mozz.
Okay, so the mozzarella scamorza in this case is what everyone uses. It's easier. Normally the pubs use shredded mozzarella, which I hate. It's plastic, fake cheese. He's using a real cheese. It's a mozzarella that's been dry, so go for it. But honestly, try the burrata or the buffalo mozzarella on top. So much better. Because you put the tomato sauce, then the cheese. Oh.
Some parmesan to the grill.
Nice touch, the parmesan.
I'm going to watch it pretty closely. We just want to melt that cheese and get it all nice and golden. All right, our pasta's ready. I'm just going to drain this quickly. Pasta back in the pot, and I've saved the pasta water. Just check me chicken. Pasta sauce goes in, a little bit of pasta water.
Oh, mannaggia. I understand why the Americans have to have this. The pasta looks nice the way it is, and they cooked it very well.
All right, while we're waiting for chicken to finish, put some pasta on our plate. Oh, that's a healthy portion.
That pasta is nice the way it is. Nice pasta with basil, tomato sauce.
Chicken's good. Well, one of them is. A little bit of basil, because why not? And there you go. The US's version of the chicken parmigiana. I guess we better taste it.
Yeah, no, look, I think I will choose that without pasta. I will definitely eat it. It's beautiful the way he made it. I wish every pub would cook it this way. That's done like a magical, it is a magical job. But not with the pasta. I would say, please, no pasta.
It's delicious. It's simple comfort food. There's no question in my mind why this is so popular all over the world. And I do really like the pasta with it. It's kind of controversial.
I don't. I'm sorry, Andy. I'm sorry. I don't understand why you guys like chicken on top of sitting on top of pasta. I find it disrespectful, and I find you're suffocating the pasta there.
Make an Aussie version and see how it compares. I do like the little smoky hamness that the Aussie version brings. The Aussie Parma. Chips, super important. Lots of ways.
See, the chips. How beautiful I have my chicken parmigiana with chips. I love that. That's what I want.
This is the size of chip that I want, which is about.
Yeah, nice big chip.
So Australia doesn't have much food culture, but this is one thing you could almost call it a national dish. And I kind of wanted to.
I will say that in Australia, even though it's American, but Australia are very proud of chicken parm. If it's done very well, I love it.
Really emphasize that to my American audience. The dish came about in Australia in the 50s. I think it was 1953 is the first
10 years after USA.
record of it. In Adelaide, which is in South Australia, the South Australian pub scene was largely run by German immigrants, which is why there's some speculation that's where the ham inclusion came from, but there's no solid proof of that.
I don't mind the ham inclusion.
It's in literally every single pub around the country. You're hard pressed to find an Australian that hasn't eaten a parma in their life, and people take great pride in them. And there's a lot of restaurants now that have ridiculous menus with 10 or 12 parmas on them with avocado and pineapple and all kinds.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Really? And I didn't come across that. Wow, maybe I don't go to these restaurants.
I'm a purist when it comes to the parma.
Well said. Why would you have to ruin something when it's done so well? You cooked such a beautiful chicken. Enjoy as it is.
Clean tea towel. It's got a hole in it, but it's clean, I promise.
What have you done there? Why have you got a hole on the...
So I'm going to fry these now at oil that's in 140 degrees. Ooh, I like to use peanut oil when I'm deep frying.
Ooh, nice. I normally use sunflower oil, but peanut oil will give extra flavors.
Okay, so first fry 140 degrees for about 7 to 8 minutes, or until they kind of just start to soften. We're just trying to cook the potatoes through. Don't overcrowd your pan, and keep an eye on the temperature. All right.
Fantastico.
All right, so once they're kind of soft all the way through, a little bit of color on the outside, we can pull them out and we'll let them get completely cold.
So easy to do, eh? You made it easy, but you made it look easy, but honestly, it is easy.
So to get the chicken ready, it's very similar to the last one, except we're going to use panko breadcrumbs instead of normal breadcrumbs.
You're telling me they always use panko? Oh no, I didn't know that.
It's a nice kind of extra bit of texture, but butterfly.
It does have extra texture. I do like my breadcrumbs on the chicken. Let's see.
Messy job, this one. Great result, but I don't love doing it. I don't like having a messy kitchen. Let me clean this up.
Yeah, you can see the texture of the panko is different. Beautiful, still nice. I still prefer the nice normal breadcrumbs.
Tomato sauce, very similar to before. In fact, it's pretty much exactly the same, except instead of basil, we're going to use some dried oregano and a little bit.
That's how you make marinara. Or In Australia, it's called Napolitan sauce. So in America, they call it marinara. In Australia, it's called Napolitan sauce, okay? But basically, marinara, it's a sauce from Naples. So they always call it Napolitan sauce. But in America, it's called marinara sauce, which is from Naples. But I don't understand why there is basil in there. You can put basil, but oregano is what goes in it. Fresh is better, but dry is good.
So the tomatoes, the only ones I got left are whole ones, so I am just going to blitz them quickly.
Yeah, nice.
But if you use crushed or diced, you don't need to do this.
Better to use peeled, bravo.
We just need to cook that down for about 12 to 14 minutes. Really doesn't need heaps of time cooking. Again, check
Doesn't need time, yeah, that's right.
the seasonings. These tomatoes that I get are actually usually sweet enough, but if you find that they're a bit sour or a bit kind of acidic, you can just use a little bit of sugar.
No, don't say that, Andy, don't say that. Oh, look, when you buy peeled tomatoes, try to buy Italian ones, try to get good ones, but you'll be surprised. We have a supermarket here called Coles, and they sell peeled tomatoes in a can for $1, Australian dollars, which is like 60 cents in US. And they've got Italian peeled tomatoes. It's the Coles private label. It's amazing, it's good. Go for it. Or you can buy mutti, you don't go wrong with mutti.
And the only other thing I'm going to add to that is not too much, about a teaspoon of dried oregano. If you use too much,
And that's what you use in marinara, bravo.
it kind of just starts to taste like cheap pasta sauce.
Okay.
Cool, we've got our tomato sauce happening, we've got our chicken ready to fry. We'll just get some cheese ready. Same as before, we're just going to use mozzarella this time. We're not using Parmesan as well.
Scamorzi and dry mozzarella.
Fries on full pelt, and it's only at 160 degrees right now. The reason is we kind of want it to cook all the way through before it gets too brown. All right, our chicken.
So it's deep fried, different to the American version. It's probably richer, heavier, but you got the panko, so yeah, more texture. It's beautiful.
Chicken is lovely and golden. Just going to get it out and onto a tray like before, and keep that oil going. Stunning. Make sure that's at 180, and then we'll drop our portion of chips in there. Perfect. So our chips go back in, and they're going to fry for 5 to 6 minutes. Should be just enough time for us to finish this chicken. Now the ham is very important. What you want is leg ham. You don't want
It's so interesting you put the ham in there. So interesting, but I don't think it's a bad idea.
prosciutto. You want smoked leg ham. And the reason being is because you can actually cut through it. Whereas the prosciutto, you can't cut through it. You put your knife through it.
If you cook the prosciutto, you'll be able to cut it like a bacon, but yes, this is a lot easier. And for this type of recipe, the ham, off the bone ham is what I would love. It's just perfect. It just goes perfect.
Tomato sauce on top of the ham. The other good thing about
Nice.
the Aussie version is that the ham protects the crumb chicken from the sogginess of the...
Good point. Very good point. Very good point.
Well, there we go. So same as before, that's on high. It won't take long. Keep a close eye on it, maybe 5 minutes. We can get our chips on the plate. We're going to be diplomatic here and go half-half.
See, I love the chips. I love the chips. Beautiful. Like you go to the pub, you want chips and meat, you know? That's what you want.
The classic pub salad, a little bit of baby Jim, just a few wraps.
No, it's way too healthy. You're going healthy. That's a healthy pub.
A couple of cherry tomatoes in half, a little basic honey mustard dressing. Just dress lightly. And that's a bit of
I
colour.
don't think the salad is required here. We have a heavy dish. You know, I'm at the pub, I want something heavy. I've got the chips, I've got the meat. I think it's enough.
Oh yeah, that's the melty golden goodness. Let's get that on there, half-half. We're not here to start any wars.
Yeah, that's a heavy dish, that's a heavy plate. I go to the pub, $20, I want that. Boom. I'm gonna be happy all night.
The Australian chicken parmesan. It's not a parmesan, it's a palmy or a parma. I get confused. I don't know what it is.
No, it's not a Parmigiana, of course. Thank you for saying that. But honestly, imagine you have burrata on top or buffalo mozzarella on top. Ooh.
One-way streak to a blister on my tongue, but yum. Do love a chippy. Oh, hot. I do like.
They look like good chippies.
It's pretty good. The smokiness of the ham really adds something to it. However, as much as I love a chip or a French fry, I do think I prefer it with the pasta.
Oh my God, really? Really, Andy? Oh, I disagree with you. I think the chips, the way you made it, are beautiful. The chips and meat. I don't want to have chicken and pasta together. I have to say that I like the other chicken you made more. Look more like a schnitzel, more like a proper, chicken parmigiana. It looked beautiful, the other version. This is beautiful too, but I prefer the other version, sorry. The sauce that you made for the other one was basil sauce. This one is marinara sauce with oregano. Both of them are great. With the oregano, you get the different kick. The basil maybe is more delicate. Maybe I would say go with the basil option because it's more delicate and that's not the most important ingredient. The most important ingredient is the chicken and then the cheese maybe and then the sauce. So I will go for the basil sauce, I like that. So the American again. But then, man, we have the beautiful chips in there. I think, look, I think the American version of the chicken you made was more beautiful. I think the ham is a great touch, and the potato is a great touch.
But who takes it out? Look, I don't know. The ham really adds something, but like I was saying, as a well-rounded meal, I think I prefer the pasta overall. So I'm gonna have to give it to the US, I'm afraid. I might get cancelled.
Well, you can't go out anymore now, Andy. No, to be honest, again, I think the meat is a lot better in the American version. I think everything else is good. Even the sauce is better, everything else is better. But the pasta is what destroys it. Yeah, I think the chips will be better. So if you can put chips with the American version, definitely a winner. But the ham, that's a good point. What you actually said, Andy, is a good point because you put the ham and you keep the crispiness of the meat. So well done to the Aussies to add the ham. It's a good idea, right? The panko, yeah, good, but try to use breadcrumbs. In my opinion, is better. And a little bit lighter for such a heavy dish, you know. Guys, we love Andy. Send all my love to Andy. Hopefully we get to meet one day and cook something together, Andy? I'm gonna make your pasta with our chicken. You will love it, trust me. Please don't put cream in carbonara. Guys, write a comment below. Let me know what you think of Andy. The next video I'm gonna do with Andy is American versus Australian versus Italian chicken parmigiana. Hey Andy, you will love the burrata on top. Trust me, you will love it. But you know something, Andy? I'm gonna learn this from you. I'm gonna put ham on top of the meat so I keep it nice and crispy before I put the tomato sauce and burrata. How about that? Which chicken parmigiana did you like the most? I wanna know now. See you in the next Vincenzo's Plate reaction video. E ora si mangia. Chicken parmigiana with burrata cheese on top. Oh yeah, trust me, you will love it more.